Chelsea Football Club are on high alert as Désiré Doué has an initial bid of 35 million euros rejected, and there's 4 clubs chasing him. Chelsea's one of them. Furthermore, we've got news that Kepa Arrizabalaga, well, he's turned up to training, but big man, you're not training with the first team. I kind of think that's out of order, but sometimes it's got to be done what's got to be done. Rumours are starting that Romeo Lavia is injured again. However, Romeo comes out and has a few things to say about it, and I always say, don't believe what you see on Twitter, because certain man just call themselves an ITK for a certain reason. Lesley Ugochukwu, I told you 3 clubs in the Premier League were interested. We've got one of the names, and finally Marc Cucurella has come out. Not only has he spoken about Cole Palmer, Enzo Maresca, spoken about what it means to him, he's also said, give him some time, let him breathe. He's not taking the money. Yes, a lot of fees were paid for him. We're going to talk about that, and we need to have an honest discussion about the way we treat players when they join clubs. Are we fair? Are we overreacting? Are we rude? We'll talk about it. But what I need from you lot is to be kind right now. All of you are lovely people. All of you are my bratuki, my brothers and sisters, because females watch this channel too. Hit the like button, number 1. Subscribe to the channel, because we're like 80 away from 35,000, which would be massive. What we need more than anything, in the comment below, do you think we should sign Désiré Doué? Do you think Chelsea Football Club need him, and can they get him? Let's get on with it. Chelsea Football Club are interested in Désiré Doué. However, there's been an initial bid rejected. We know this from L'Équipe. L'Équipe is very good when it comes to giving us news regarding French players and anything that involves. So number 1, they've said to us that 35 million euros has been rejected from Bayern Munich. FC Bayern Munich are moving mad this window. Elise is already there. They've got Jamal Musiala. They've got Tel. And now they want to add Désiré Doué. This is a young 18, I think he's 18 or 19 years old. He's a Frenchman. He looks absolutely phenomenal. He's been playing first team football for Rennes, and not only has he been playing, he's been performing. And what I love about this player is he can play left wing, he can play 8, he can play right wing, he can play false 9, he literally can play 8. He is so comfortable on the ball, and the way he separates himself from an individual when he's on the ball reminds me of a young Eden Hazard. I don't say that lightly. I'll never try to throw that name around, because for me it's blasphemous. He's one of the greatest ever players I've seen. Eden Hazard is my GOAT. I know Messi was better than him, but for me, I will convince my kids Eden Hazard was the best player to ever play football, man. I'll play every single compilation for him. That's how much I love that man. Désiré Doué is available, and L'Équipe is saying, as well as other sources such as Fabrizio Romano, Premier League interest. However, the 2 front runners at this moment in time are PSG and Bayern. The front runner, the additional clubs that are interested that are coming out from L'Équipe are Tottenham Hotspurs and Chelsea Football Club. Guys, you know what Chelsea are like. They'll pay the fee. The issue will become the wages, and the wages are an issue for one reason and one reason only. We don't have Champions League football. And this is once again biting us in our backside, because we can't compete at the alpha table, at the big boy table, at the big league, because we can't offer players one Champions League football and wages, because all of a sudden we're not at the top echelons generating that revenue. And this frustrates me, but it's something we're going to have to deal with, and we have to be optimistic that we're going to get into the Champions League next year. If it's up to me, I'm getting Désiré Doué, because this is the level of player that could become fantastic on that left hand side. He is 4 years younger than Mudryk, or 3 years younger than Mudryk, I'm not too sure, but Mudryk either needs to step up, or next year we need to try and move off him, because Raheem Sterling is there as well. We're either going to move him, or it's a matter of time that he steps up. Désiré would come in and almost have a free hit, take his position, and if he can perform, they're in trouble. That's my personal opinion. The news regarding Romeo Lavia really scared me. So what I saw was Chelsea had a behind closed doors friendly, and we don't know any news about that, but apparently Romeo Lavia limped off, and I was like, oh no, not this again. But then Romeo Lavia came out with God forbid. He basically went on Twitter, tweet out of his personal account, and what I want to say here is a quick, don't believe everything you see. Because the reality is, a lot of people now know, right, the nature of the game is, they can tweet something, doesn't need to be credible. As long as it's got a little bit of fire to it and catches fire, people are going to all of a sudden say, oh, but he knows a little bit. Now, if anything, God forbid, happens to Romeo Lavia in the next few weeks, he'll be like, you see, I told you, this is when it was impacted originally. But the good news here is no injury. He's perfectly fine. Can't wait to see him against Wrexham. I actually can't wait for Chelsea pre-season to start. Chelsea Football Club have 3 goalkeepers that are considered to be first-team goalkeepers on the book, right? We've got Petrovic, we have got Robert Sanchez, and we've got Kepa Arrizabalaga. However, Kepa Arrizabalaga is not allowed to train with the first team. Donny turned up to Cobham and has been training by himself on a different pitch and basically doing his training sessions during a different period. Chelsea want to get rid of him. Chelsea have agreed that this is best for them to separate and isolate themselves. I think the wages that he's on are mad, and more importantly, there is no future with him at Chelsea Football Club. He's got 1 year left on his contract. They're isolating him. I don't know whether, in my opinion, if he's worse than Robert Sanchez with his feet, nor do I know if he's worse than him as a goalkeeper. I think actually keeping Kepa this year might be something that we can go, oh, you know what, low-key, he's a good keeper compared to Robert Sanchez. However, the club want to move on. It's not like a place to die on, to cry about. So if the club want to move him on, Saudi's available, they're giving him an offer. And more importantly, Real Madrid, if they get rid of Luden, will be coming back in for this guy and trying to secure him on a permanent deal. The player is super keen, we're keen. If Madrid are keen, the deal's going to get done. It's not really complex. He's more than happy to be the number 2 behind Thibaut Courtois, and I don't blame him. You know what? He's going to go there, win a couple Champions Leagues, play a few minutes here and there, and then just see out the rest of his career in a country where it's his home. He's going to have his own food. He's going to have his own people. He's going to have his weather. He's just going to be relaxed and live out the rest of his career. Marc Cucurella has been excellent in this Euros, right? He's been so good to the point that people now have completely U-turned on him. It went from Marc Cucurella's horrible to Marc Cucurella's world class, and I can't wait to see Marc Cucurella in this Chelsea team. I put out a poll today. I said, Benchilwell or Cucurella, who do you want this Chelsea's number 1? The outstanding say of Cucurella was shocking to me. 90% of people said this. If I asked this question in February, it would not have been so outstanding in terms of Cucurella's favour. But what has Cucurella been saying? Number 1, he spoke about Nico Williams. He's basically saying, I'm chatting to him every day. I'm telling him to join us. We need him. Firstly, this tells me a lot what Cucurella thinks of Mudryk and what he thinks of Sterling. Secondly, Nico Williams and Chelsea is not going to happen. The guy is going to Barcelona. I'm sorry. They're going to find a way to fund this move. He's going to be a Barcelona player. I'm almost certain of it. Then he spoke about the fact that Enzo Maresca reached out to him and it felt really nice. He's very excited to play for Chelsea. Well, next season, this Chelsea system is really going to suit Marc Cucurella. And it's going to be actually very exciting to see how the pivot of basically when we're in possession, when Cucurella tucks in to play next to Enzo Fernandez is going to work. Maresca reached out to him and obviously most probably told him about his plans. And it's going to be exciting to see what happens. Thereon, Cucurella went on to speak about the upcoming Euros final where England is in the final against España, and he was very complimentary of both sides. You know, he's like, he wants to win, however England's a good team, and he also said he hopes Cole Palmer doesn't play. He hopes he stays on the bench because I don't think he wants that Cole Palmer smoke. I genuinely don't think he wants it. I think he's seen it all year that Cole Palmer's been doing a madness left, right and centre on all other teams, just absolutely banging in goals, assists, having man of the match performances. And I don't think Cucurella wants to handle him. He most probably does it in training and gets absolutely ripped and doesn't want that again. So when he says, I really hope he doesn't play, I don't blame him. But the big one of all is what he said regarding transfer fees. He said in the beginning it was very difficult at Chelsea Football Club. Now he's getting a bit more praise and love and he loves it. But the thing that really caught my eye was he basically said, when you come with a big transfer window, people need to remember, I don't get the money. Like, it's not like I'm taking the money and I'm playing poorly. And then he also said, sometimes people just need to give them some time to develop and to rest. And for me, it's actually very simple. I understand that point of view. I really do. I think we are very harsh. We think, you know what, Mudryk was bought for 62 million, has to be a superstar. Cucurella, 58 million, has to be a superstar. And I understand that. However, I understand when we get frustrated. You know, when the fundamentals aren't working, when the basics aren't popping. I understand when we get vexed as fans because we're passionate. Guys, these players like the clubs. They most probably learn to love the clubs. We love the club already. Like, for us, we are so passionate about what we see. And purely based on the fact, just look at this, right? I'm here on my day off, in my free time, recording, talking about the club I love. You're sitting there watching a fan talk about football. Like, do you understand how much we're obsessed with this club? The fact that we are consuming so much content about this football club, right? on top of watching the games. Some people wake up at 2, 3 a.m. to watch these games. Some people pay season tickets that are mad to go watch these games. So I fully, totally understand when fans get angry. Are we harsh sometimes? We are, but we love the player. And honest, every fan just wants every player to do well so they can support him. So I think sometimes players need to understand that, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't even think Cucurella was being rude about it. I think he's just basically saying he's a human and he's trying his best, and the money doesn't matter, it's the performances. And to be fair, Pochettino did not set him up to do absolutely fantastic until the back end of the season. Regarding Lesley Ugochukwu now, and this is the very interesting part of the news. So we've got an instinct of what's happening, and you know what? I always call the transfer window like dominoes, right? One domino falls and then everything starts rolling, and all of a sudden there's like a domino effect where there's like 4 or 5 team players going to different clubs. Well, it looks like Onana is going from Everton to Aston Villa, and that defensive midfielder position has become opened up for Lesley Ugochukwu to go to Everton. This is an interesting deal. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, this is phenomenal, it's going to get a great time. And this is actually everyone's knee-jerk reaction. For me, I need to think from it from this perspective. Enzo Maresca wants to play possession-based. Enzo Maresca wants players that are comfortable on the ball, moving the ball, shifting it left, right, centre, comfy, and everything, right? How is that going to translate the environment that Chelsea have at Everton? He's going to go to Everton, he's going to play in a deep block, he's going to play in a position where he doesn't need to manoeuvre the ball and manipulate it against low blocks. He's going to learn to play in that way, stabilise to the league, I get that. But is it the best education for him to come back? Would it not be better for him to go to an Ipswich? Would it not be better for him to go to maybe a Wolves? Would it not be better for him to go to a Palace? Where, you know, they're a little bit more possession-based. They're a little bit more against lower blocks. Maybe an Aston Villa if that offer was on the table. I just feel like Everton is so different and so completely different to Chelsea that it's a complete U-turn. If Pochettino was in charge, I'd say, okay, maybe, you know what, the physical aspects of his game would develop, and under Poch, would need to be that robust character that runs box to box and just more of an athlete rather than a footballer. I'd get it. But under Enzo Maresca, we're just a very different team. So I don't know how good this move is. What I would love is for him to go get a bunch of minutes, regain his stature, and all of a sudden maybe we can sell him on. But if he's going to go to Everton, I don't see him having a long-term career at Chelsea. I really don't, especially under the education of Sean Dyche. Like, he won't be on the ball, developing his fundamental technique that he would need at Chelsea to open up defenses with his passing. That's just my personal opinion. All I ask from you lot now is to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and in the comments below, let me know, do you think England will win the Euros final, or do you think it will be Spain? Personally, I want England to win. I've got a bad feeling it will be España. Let's keep it stepping. Have a lovely day.